Hey guys, what's going on? I'm gonna go to sleep, but I just wanted to just I just want to tell you the process of everything of researching what has happened with Kenneka Jenkins. It's so pretty much like all the videos that I made thus far is the small potatoes. That's like the small stuff as far as showing the components of what set her up. There's a lot of other things, and it's pretty. So anyway, when I started to research it, it was like really, it was freaking me out. And I started to see just a lot of stuff, that's going on in Chicago. And there's a huge problem because there's a lot of people that go missing. And, but people think, or they don't really see really what's going on in Chicago because they think it has to do with gang violence. There is a lot of gangs up there, but they are surviving and thriving because of a system that is organized, that's higher up. And it's really sad because the people that fall into the gangs, it sucks because they're being used. They're being used to be a cover, to be a front person for what's really going on. And it's like, why would anybody want to be used? And people that have rivals amongst other gang members, it's like they think that they have like some type of, they think they have like a secret code or a secret language. It's not. They're freaking being like a pawn. And it's just messed up. But really the only way, but I feel, here's the thing. Chicago has the highest crime rate in all the United States, but it's half of all the crime literally goes all to Chicago. The crime rate. It's the most, like, it's everywhere. And there's no order whatsoever in Chicago. But again, the gangs and all that is just a front for a much more, if anybody can imagine, a lot more sinister thing that's going on in Chicago. So I'm going to get to that part. I mean, when I'm talking about with Kenneka Jenkins, I believe without question that she was set up. And her friends, which it appears like her friends were a part of it. Now, I can't say for sure, but I'm just saying according to what I'm seeing, And also, I don't think it's, I think that hate is a distraction. There are people that hate Monifa, which is her, which was somebody that said that they were Kenneka's best friend. They hate. But I think that that's a distraction because then it only gets somebody so far to truth. And I don't know, it's just like the thing that I'm observing, I'm just like, dang, like that just is horrible that some people live in a completely disconnected reality where it's like they don't value life whatsoever. They don't value, it's just like they live like in some bubble or something where it's like they literally think that they're going to be getting, or just people in general, they think they're going to get away with stuff. They're not. It's like there is a higher power. God is in charge. But it is disheartening, when people come across the corruption, or if they come across like the layers of how it all works. And again, how does all these gangs thrive? It's because it's meant to, from a higher source. I'm not saying in a more enlightened source. I'm saying, a power structure that wants to hide. And so they like, wow, this is great. So I have a lot more videos to make, but so when I was studying and I was starting to see like some of the higher power structure, it was so freaking, it's creepy as hell. Like, it is. But the thing that is, I don't know. So what happened was, so when I was studying what was going on with Kenneka Jenkins, and I was starting to see like, the other power structures that were involved, and they were trying to cover up for sure. They were going way out of their way to try to cover up. It was very discouraging. It was there was a lot of things that, like, just emotions I was going through, and I was just like, I was frustrated because I was like, why is this evil shit going on? Like, what the hell? Like, why is this evil shit going on? And then I was just like really, thinking about all the things that Kenneka, went through. But all I did was just pray, and that was it. I just did a simple prayer, and then I just felt peace all around me. And it just reminded me that even though a whole bunch of evil, it does exist on this, like, in this world, it's like God is way more powerful. Way more powerful. So I think the important thing is, whenever anybody's seeking truth, seeing the uncovering the layers and really seeing like what the hell is going on, like, in this country, and what the hell is going on in other parts of the world. I think it's important to not be in fear, but just look at it, because that's the only way to, that's the only way to make a change, but like having faith in a higher power, and just knowing, like, what, Kenneka, according to what I saw, or just what I feel, she was a good person. And she was like just a genuine person. But the thing it's just that she surrounded herself with the worst people in the world. But I understand, because there's been times in my life, I mean, not too much. I'm very careful, very, very, very careful. But also just like the area that she was living in. So the thing that I was picking up with Kenneka, from what I don't know, this is just what I feel, okay? That she's just not, she didn't seem like a very judgmental person. And it seemed like she like lived in a world where she saw the best in people. And she saw people how she was. So basically, she would see the good in people because that's who she is. But the people that were, I believe, that were setting her up, I feel like they gave a false narrative about Kenneka to very dangerous people. And they were giving a false narrative of their own, of who they were. So there was a video of one of her friends, so-called fake friends, and she made a video. She like literally tried to say publicly that Kenneka was a snitch, the hugest snitch in all of Chicago. But that was a reflection of her. And then, like, there was, like, a post, and I need to find this, but, like, I freaking know this is true, because whenever the Kenneka thing happened, I found out right away. So this was, like, in 2017, and I immersed myself in trying to figure out what happened with Kenneka. That was, like, in September in 2017, and that was, like, literally, like, it was like a week and a half that I was like really trying to figure it out. But at that time, there wasn't a lot of information. You know, they just barely had the surveillance video. And then there was like a lot of videos where people were like, oh, like this is like, you know, this video is fake. So it was a lot more confusing information. But now there's, you know, a lot more stuff out there. You know, they have the actual pictures. They have the surveillance video and stuff like that. So it's different now, you know? But, so going back to that, I looked up on Monifa Shelton's Facebook, and I remember very distinctively, and it is there, somebody has a screenshot of it, that Monifa Shelton actually called Kenneka a snake. And that was on Monifa Shelton's page, and that is a fact. So Monifa said that, and that was, I think it was like September the 4th or something like that. So it was like maybe like a couple of weeks before. So my feeling, and I'm going to have things to back up with what I'm saying, okay? So there's a lot more videos to be made. But my feeling was that they did not like her because they did not like themselves. And I think that she was just a genuine person, and they didn't understand that. Because literally, they look dead in their eyes. Monifa, she looks dead in her eyes. And so does that girl that drugged her. You know? I'm not really saying Shamaya. I think that Shamaya, she messed her up too. I'm just saying like what I'm observing. Like, it's just they have scary eyes. Tanisha. And then also Monifa. Like it's just dead. There's nothing there. They're just completely disconnected. But Kenneka was different. She wasn't like them, you know. But the downfall that Kenneka had was that she thought that, you know, she could look the best in people. But here's the reality. You can't. You have to see people as they are, and you cannot be around people like that. You just can't. It's not going to be good. It doesn't matter, you know, like Kenneka, she was a very happy person. She was smiling, and, you know, she seemed friendly, and she seemed like she got along with everybody. It still didn't matter at the end of the day, because it was the energy mesh. The energy wasn't matched. So either way, they didn't like it. They didn't like her energy, because her energy was rattling, and it was showing them who they were. So I guess the hugest thing to take from this is that you cannot be around certain people. You can't. You can't be friendly with everybody. You can't be open with people. You just can't. You have to be very selective in who you hang out with. You got to be very careful where you go. You know, I'm not saying being paranoid, but I think that was what it was. It's just that she was Kenneka had a very open heart. And I don't think that she really was about that gang life. I think that maybe when she was younger, she probably, she probably, hung out with people like that. And maybe, I don't know if she was ever in one or not. The only thing I know is that she was on her way to doing good things with her life. It's because she had a good attitude, and she did have morals and values. It's like she drank, but she wasn't the type to do drugs and stuff like that. I mean, I have another video to show. I want to make a video showing the type of person that Kenneka, what I see that she was. And I think that she did have a good mom. A lot of people try to try to say bad things about Teresa Martin, her mother. And they try to say that her mother was bad or her mom didn't care. Here's the thing to take into consideration. Her mother has breast cancer. Okay? She's fighting for her life. So her mother doesn't have all the money in the world. Okay? Some people think that oh, well, why haven't you done this? Or why haven't you done... First off, too, here's something to think about. Her mom is right now in Chicago. Okay? She wants to find the truth for Kenneka, but the rest of the world just needs to do it for the mother because of the fact, and the mother's doing the best that she can. But the reality is, she's in Chicago. Okay, she's in the heart of it. She's surrounded Okay? And she has a duty to protect the rest of her children. And if she went full out and just full out, went after the hotel. Well, she tried to sue the hotel. But if she goes full on out, she's not going to be safe. But her family is not going to be safe. So she needs to protect her children. So it's great that there are other people that are going and trying to figure out the truth. And they're doing what, Teresa probably could do if she wasn't in Chicago. Okay? So, I don't know. That's just really something to think about. You know what I mean? It makes sense. No matter what, your first duty is to protect your other children. So, that's what she's doing. If she goes full on out and she starts talking publicly about the friends and says, yeah, I think they had something to do. What's going to happen? The mother's not going to be safe. Okay? That's the reality. People need to start thinking about that, But, I guess that's other people's truth. If people want to think the worst in Teresa, the mother, and they want to judge her and say, oh, you're not grieving the way, we think you should. First off, she's the area that she's in, okay? Showing full out emotion to people is not safe. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's learned how to protect her emotions and not be so public. But without question, she probably cries a lot when she's at home. She's learned how to manage her emotions because you have to do that. Being in the area that she's at, you have to do that. If you don't, then it's going to be a sign of weakness and people will go after it, So that's just what I'm picking up with Teresa. People have the right to try to, I don't know. They have the right to try to, I guess, not trust Teresa or whatever, but I just feel like it's a dead end. And it's the thing is, her mother was not a part of the hotel. Her mother did not go to with the party, so she's not she's not a suspect, Now I understand there is that where she didn't get her, the graves, she didn't get a tombstone for her daughter yet, but again, she has breast cancer. Okay, breast cancer. That costs a lot of freaking money, okay? Even if someone's upper middle class, or even if someone's even wealthy, paying for cancer is extremely expensive. Okay, so, she's probably trying to get the best treatment she can so she can take care of her family. So, it's not that she does not it doesn't mean that she does not care about kenneka, So anyway, that's my feeling. So where I was going back with that is that I feel like kenneka she had a good mom. I'm not saying that I think her mom was perfect, who parent is, I feel like she did the best that she could as a parent, and I feel like she did teach kenneka some good things in life, or probably good things in general. And so kenneka, I think that she, had a heart, and I feel like there was a lot of things that she could have been a part of. So it's unacceptable that her life was cut short. It didn't need to go that way at all. She probably would have, in the future. The thing is, she was very unique, and I don't know, she kind of reminds me of, the vibe of Aaliyah. Aaliyah had, a wonderful, really cool, really chill vibe. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I just, have my thoughts of, people, how they could be in the future. I think that she would have been, kind of like an India Ari or something. She would have been putting out some really positive music. I don't know if she knew how to sing or not, but either way, she was above all that shit. But the thing that just sucks is that, you cannot. So I hope this message reaches out to anybody out there. There's just certain people you cannot be around, okay? There's nothing it doesn't matter how wonderful or how amazing your vibe is. Like, if you hang out with certain people, it's not going to be good. There's just certain people that will spiritually, it's a spiritual jealousy. So there's an energy, it's like an energy difference. And no matter what, Kenneka's energy rattled them because they were disconnected, and there was something off about them, okay? And so then when they were around Kenneka, they couldn't help but hate her because they're like, I don't know what it is. Her energy is rattling me. Her energy is irritating me. It's because she had light about her. That's why. And there is a spiritual thing that happens. It's like if somebody's, different, energetically, they're going to rattle people that are in the dark. So those, those people, the ones that I feel like had something to do with her in setting her up, they don't value life, but they don't even value their own life, okay? They don't respect themselves and they don't respect other people. And so it's like, I'm not saying all of them, I mean, I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, they look like walking zombies. They're just not there. There's something missing, And it's just unfortunate, though. It's unfortunate because Kenneka thought it would be all good to be around people like that, She just, I think that, again, she tries to see the best in people, but you can't. You have to see people as they are now. So that's it. I'm going to go to sleep, guys. Y'all have a good night.